Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
In the year 247, in the Age of Judges, Vartan was summoned home by a letter stating that his father had died under mysterious circumstances. Upon returning home, Vartan opened his mind that the possibility that his father's death in his hometown of Eterno was not everything that it appeared to be. Welcome to Ethereal Embrace. I've never had watermelon wine before, but I'm confident that one should not put ice cubes in it. Would you put ice cubes in a Merlot or Cabernet? Don't put ice cubes in wine.
Day 2, late afternoon, between Terraneil Fallen Cloud and Timmoren Windcurl's farmsteads. The party leaves Terraneil's farm and is heading over to Timmoren's, which is just across the way. You can still hear the children playing. It's still midday, but you're nice and refreshed after having the watermelon wine. And is there anything you guys want to do to prepare to get over there, or do you just want to stroll on in?
Just go up and knock on the door.
Are those mushrooms on the way, like to the door?
Yep. So soybeans and sunshrooms make up the closest crops to the Windcurl farm. The farmhouse itself is pretty small, but it's well built. It's a 3-story building, but it's pretty small as far as width. So as you approach the house, there are a set of 6 steps that go up. It is another halfling house, so the steps are smaller compared to your all giants. But you can make your way up. Standing on the porch, there is no overhang for it like there was at Terraneil's, and you'd be able to see out kind of across the crops, with it being soybeans and sunshrooms. They're smaller crops when you get there.
Oh, Baya, you were wanting to get some of them sunshrooms. You want to ask them, or you think you can get some?
Yeah, let's ask him. We shouldn't take it without his knowledge. It's stealing.
All right.
So as you guys get closer to the house, you do hear the kids more and more. You can hear them running through the house, playing, screaming. Only one of the kids is a halfling, so the other 2 are, kind of they're really big compared to the house.
Yeah.
And so they're like screaming and running through and having a really good time and playing. You hear that as you approach, but you just walk up, knock on the door.
Yeah.
Okay. So Timmoren is another halfling man. He walks up to the door. He's an older man. His head is full of gray hair. He's got wrinkles under his eyes, but he's tan from working out in the fields. And he greets you at the door with a pipe in his mouth and a giant grin on his face before he even sees who's opening. So he opens the door and he's just sitting there smiling. And he looks up and sees you and he says, "Oh, well, Vartan, it is a pleasure to see you, son. Let me get my boots on and pop right out. Give me just 1 second." And he closes the door behind him, waits for a second, and then pops back out after just a minute, the amount of time it takes to put on some boots, and walks out and says, "Welcome back home, son. It's very nice to see you."
Yeah, it's been a while.
That it has. Sorry about your father. Let's let's walk on out here to one of the stands. I think we might have a seat there your size. He starts to take a few steps down off the porch, and you can look out into the fields and see from where you're standing that there are some stands areas that have been constructed. And on these stands, they are normal. They're designed for humans and half-elves, and they're just normal people-sized stands. And some of them have chairs and stuff on it. It looks kind of like a lookout or a scouting station that has recently been built out there. But there's some seats that you could use to sit down and have a talk. And he starts walking out while talking to you and says, "I'm deeply sorry for your loss, son. What can I help you with?"
Baya puts her hand on Ovyck's shoulder in support.
You guys are walking through. The closest crop to the house is the sunshrooms, by the way.
Yeah, well, Greystone had said that both of you have the same idea of what's going on around here.
As far as the creatures attacking?
Yeah, and my father's death.
Yeah. Well, I think we tend to agree on most things around here, me and Greystone, but we've had a hard time coming to a conclusion on this one. I believe that there is a connection between your father's death and the Zill. He believes there's also a connection, but I'm not sure he's given me all the information he's got in regards to it. Maybe you will have better luck talking to him. Maybe not, considering he sent you back my way.
Yeah, you seem to not want to tell us much information without prying. Like, well, we had to pry.
Yeah, that's a bit strange, I would say, for old Greystone, but Greystone sometimes is a very protective man, close to the vest, and I am very sure that he just doesn't want to connect your father to any kind of unscrupulous situations or dealings. He would not want to smear his name among the townsfolk after all your father has done.
Yeah, that's about what he said, too.
Well, Greystone is a good man, even though he's odd sometimes. What are your thoughts on it, son?
Not exactly sure. What's going on with the crops around here? Do you have any information on that?
On how well they're growing?
Yes.
Well, no better than any other year. When we need them to, they seem to work pretty well. I don't know. Just the land, I think. Maybe Greyhawk's blessing us.
What do y'all think of this?
She'll turn to Ovyck and Vartan and say, well, I'm not sure what he has in his pipe, but maybe we could get some of that. God blessing the crops across the entire land every year when they need it. It seems either that's a very, very powerful and giving God, or something else is going on.
Something else is definitely going on. Gods only speak to us when they need something. None of them just give out blessings when we need them.
Yeah, that's kind of my experience, too.
And I do believe that Timmoren knows more than he's letting on. Well, kindness worked with the father. Maybe kindness can work with Timmoren. What do you think? Maybe we can get more out of him. What does he know? What does he think that the father didn't believe or want to believe?
Okay, you guys go ahead and make an insight check with advantage for deducing stuff.
Glad I got advantage.
15.
That's a 23.
Damn.
Oh my god. I got 2 nat 1s.
Oh, man. Roll again to see if you get another 1.
Can I use a different die?
Yes, you can.
Probably for the best.
18.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so nothing compounds there. So, Baya, your suspicions stop at whatever you just said. Whatever you came to conclusion on your own is about as far as they
goodbye.
go. You other two, with your roles, you know that it seems like that Timmoren does know more, and it also seems like he's potentially trying to protect Greystone a little bit. So even though he's kind of teasing at Greystone being weird and odd, he's doing it in a way to maneuver the conversation away from the topic of how are they connected. And even on top of that, Vartan, you kind of get the feeling that Timmoren knows that not only is it connected with Kiirion and the Zill, you also think it might be connected to why the crops are so good. You think that all three things might be a little bit more connected than what he's letting on. And you guys come to these conclusions just as you reach one of the stands, and he begins climbing the steps up to take one of the seats. And they're big steps for him, so he's like lifting his leg knee high, and as an older halfling, it's kind of tough for him to do, but he's a little bit more nimble than you would have noticed.
How tall are the stands?
The stands they're 5 feet off the ground, so each step is about a foot up.
Oh, here I'm gonna say, here, let me help you with that, and I'm gonna grab him and just pick him up and put him on it.
All right. He's like, oh, thank you, son. Appreciate it. My knees are not what they used to be. So yeah, you set him up on top of the stand, and you do realize, or you do notice that there is a fully loaded heavy crossbow sitting on the stand for potential guard use later. And then there's 3 chairs on this particular stand. So it's a big stand. It's not like one little hunter stand out in the woods. It's a big like scout stand to have a few different people up there.
So you see much Zill out this way?
We've had a few attacks so far. Luckily, we haven't had any in the last 5 nights. I think it's partly due to that Magno lady. She seemed to have deterred them, at least for a little while.
So, that crossbow there, it's not... I can't imagine that do much good for you.
Many of the new recruits that Brasscane has brought are not trained in the ways of melee combat. The crossbow is really the only thing that they've got at their disposal to try and ward off these creatures.
So Timmoren, what's your theory on all of this going on? Like, things just aren't adding up around here, and honestly, I'm starting to get frustrated.
I can understand that frustration. What specifically would you like to know, son?
What could have caused these creatures to come from another plane to here?
Well,
and what do you know about it?
In my experience, and I'm no magician myself, but in my experience, typically calling creatures from one plane to another takes some sort of portal magic. Something to summon them or pull them over or give them access. I don't think that your father Kiirion was much in the field of summoning demons to come to our plane and taunt the city's residents, but I do think somehow these things are connected. You don't just have a man die under unknown circumstances and then see demons start showing up around town carrying people away without it being connected. I don't care what the situation is. That kind of coincidence just does not happen here.
Is there anybody in town that can use that kind of magic?
Well, I would say probably there is Emery, who's the alchemist. She could probably come up with some kind of magical means. Not that she has, I've ever seen done anything malicious towards the city, but I would say she's fully capable. I would also venture to say that new priest in town is someone who could probably do that. at Bastille, one of the priests of Greyhawk. He's been staying up there at the temple with Telmika. I'm not one to start forcing suspicion on new folks in town. I think that level of thinking is beyond us. But I do think that it is a little suspicious that somebody new comes to town that wields magic and then all of a sudden demons are here.
Yeah, I want to insight check that.
Okay.
Another 23.
Jeez. Okay. What are you looking for out of that insight roll?
It seems like he's saying he's not wanting to put blame on new people coming into town, but is he trying to deflect again?
No, while he's saying this bit to you, it's almost like he's going down a mental checklist of who he thinks is actually magical enough to be able to do these things.
Okay.
He doesn't appear to have any proof for anything, but he is putting out who he thinks might be magical enough.
Okay.
And then he says, the only other people I'm not too sure of in town, any residents that haven't been here for the last 50 or 60 years, or 100 years, I don't know, I've lost count, would be Magno, that new person up at the tavern. Hard to imagine she would do such a thing and then come right out and kill one of her own Zill. But she knew how to kill it. And then Cody, the innkeeper up there. Cody Rothfuss. He's still kind of new in town. 10 years. And I bet there's some stories behind those eyes. But again, I've never seen him do magic. I just don't know what he's fully capable of like I do the rest of the people here in town.
Who did he say was new besides Cody and Magno?
Bastille.
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 The new priest at the temple. Or cleric or whatever he is. Dragonborn. I got that written down. Yeah, priest.
Bastille's not the Dragonborn. Telmika is the old priest. She's the Dragonborn.
Oh, she's the Dragonborn. Okay.
Yeah, yep.
Cool.
So she's the Dragonborn woman that had light purple scales and wears a cloak and got bifocals and stuff and brought you guys the picnic basket to eat, the basket
My
of
mistake.
food. No, you're good. Bastille is a brand new priest in town. You guys haven't met him yet.
Okay.
Oh, I was calling Greystone father. I keep mixing that up. He's just a judge, right?
Yeah, he's the judge.
Yeah, he's a judge.
I say we push him to try to get exactly what him and Greystone think is going on. He's not telling us something between him and Greystone, and I think we should go back to Greystone after this and refuse to leave his office until he tells us what he thinks is going on.
All right, so I'm going to grab the stand, and I'm going to, squeeze it and, make the boards, snap a little.
Okay.
I'll say,
Going for intimidation.
yeah, you still haven't told me what your theory is on how this started. I don't think he has.
No.
Seems like he's avoided that.
he has. So go ahead and make an intimidation roll.
19.
He grabs onto the seat that he's sitting in and tries to keep himself steady and says, "Whoa, now, hold on. I guess I'm just trying to warm up, son. You don't have to be toppling me down now. So, I'm not sure how it started. I swear to you on that. I don't know. But there is a magic in this town. There always has been a magic in this town. And the magic is old. Keeps our crops good. But it's something we can't figure out. Not everyone here really knows about it or pays attention to it. There's me. There's Greystone. And your father knew most about it. More about it than anyone. I don't know what exactly he was doing, but he has spent a lot of time recently in his office and in his library doing research. Your father has some journals, stuff that I'd venture if you went looking through, you might be able to find out some more details into the magic behind Eternal. But again, I don't know specifics. I just have my ideas.
And what of the cabin out on out on the edge of Terraneil's land?
Yeah, that cabin, I assume your father was working on some of these studies from that cabin. I did not go out there with him. I do know, and if you do by chance make another trip over to talk to Greystone spent some time with him out in the woods recently. I don't know if they were at the cabin, so don't put that back on me. I'm not one to go tongue-wagging. But they went out in the woods. I saw it myself. Several times.
One of those times happened to be around his death?
No, sir. I can vouch for Greystone's whereabouts the night that your father died.
So this guy has no idea what Kiirion was researching, what he was looking into, just that he was doing research.
Mm-hmm. Into the magic on why Eterno.
Yeah.
You do notice that he still is kind of tiptoeing around something. Like, he did just kind of blurt out everything, and your insight really leads you to believe that everything he's telling you is 100% true. Mm-hmm. You don't see any deceit in him at all. But you also can tell he's kind of walking on tiptoes still. You don't know why or what about, because he's answering your questions. He's answering them, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Vartan, why don't you let me try to talk to him?
I don't know about this. I don't think hugging him's going to do any good this time.
Listen, I'm sorry about earlier. I know that you knew Kiirion very well, as did the judge. What could you possibly think that he was doing that would put a rift between you and the judge at this point? That would have you, I mean, you've been good friends for a while, right?
Yeah, I would say the three of us are the pillars of this community. So
what would cause two pillars to look down on each other like you two are doing? You're sending us back and forth between you two to get answers instead of just giving us answers. Is there something you're afraid of? Do you need protection?
I personally am afraid that the research that Kiirion was doing could maybe break down the magic that holds Eternal together. That he could impact how the magic works for our city. I think he was trying to manipulate it, and he brought these demons in here. Now, I also think that Greystone knows more than what he was putting on to me, as well as many other items. Along with the death, I think he was working with Kiirion. But I don't know.
Does anybody else share these beliefs with you? Have you talked to anybody about this?
The information that I'm telling with you now is only between me, Kiirion, and Greystone. For specific reasons, we do not share this information with the rest of the town.
So the worry that what Kiirion has been doing is only coming from you.
Yes. And that is what has put a wedge between me and Greystone, because I'm fearing that Greystone may be trying to put the research off onto you, and I would like the research to stop.
Yeah, that's what I figured. Well, is there anything else that you could tell us to maybe help us figure this out? Obviously, we don't want the town to be destroyed.
I also do not want the town to be destroyed. Maybe if I were in your shoes, I would be very wary of Greystone and the things that he pushes you to do. But I would ask him to take you out to wherever he and Kiirion were going. Find out what they were doing in the woods, and maybe find out a way to shut down whatever research they were doing. And then again, it could still be Bastille as well. Talk to that new priest, see if maybe he can help identify. Maybe he can help fix whatever problem your father broke. I don't know. But those are the things that I wish I could do right now.
What about that box that we have that was Kiirion's? Would Timmoren know anything about that? Since it was Greystone that gave it to us?
Wasn't that box just what had all the papers in it?
No, we don't know what's in it.
I don't think we didn't open it.
Nope.
We need a key for it back from the house.
Oh.
Well, I'm going to pull out the box.
What do you know about this box? Greystone gave it to us. Said it was Kiirion's.
He looks over the box. Make a persuasion roll for that.
Let me see what my plus is. My plus is 8, and I got a 10.
With a 10, he looks over the box and says, I know that there are magical gemstones in that box. I don't know what they do. They were gifts to your father. I cannot tell you more than that. I just don't know.
You don't know gifts from who?
Nope, I do not know where they came from or what magic they store. I apologize. I've never even seen them used. I just know the contents.
Do you mind if we grab some mushrooms on the way?
Make yourself right at home.
Do you know what kind of mushrooms Magno likes?
Sunshrooms.
I guess at that point, Baya doesn't have anything else unless y'all do.
Nope. I say we go back to is the church that Bastille is at? Is that closer, or is Greystone closer?
Where you guys are, the church is closer. So if you look at the map, there's the Temple of the 12. It's B. You could walk pretty much across the farmlands and across the street. There's the closest building to you would be the Last Stop Tavern, and then right beyond that, you could walk through the churchyard, the temple yard, to actually go to the temple. Versus the judge's office is on almost the far eastern side of the map.
Okay. So I say we go stop at the church, see if Bastille can recognize the magic, or even tell Mika, see if either of them can recognize this box, the magic in the box. And then we go smack Greystone around and get a straight answer from him.
Okay. As Baya's leaving, she picks, say 5 mushrooms, and she brings them up to her face, and she smells them, and she gives them kind of a hug, and she goes, "Thank you, bye."
All right, now bye, and enjoy those mushrooms. I wish you well.
Take care.
Timmoren does say right before you leave, Vartan, your father left some very big shoes to fill. I hope that you are the man he always knew you could be. And I hope you will today. Good luck.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Appreciate the information. Oh, you need help down?
Oh, no, I think I'll sit up here for a little while.
All right.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Ethereal Embrace, and a Fool's Quest production. Vartan the Furbog Fighter is voiced and played by Adam Culbertson. Baya Rustin, the half-elf sorcerer, is voiced and played by Tisha. Ovyck, the Tiefling Cleric, is voiced and played by Chris Johnson. And I am Nico, your GM. Please remember to drop us a 5-star rating and review on your favorite podcatcher. Music provided in part by Midnight Syndicate, makers of the original Dungeons & Dragons soundtrack. If you would like to follow us on social media or say hello to the cast, details on where to find us will be in this episode's notes. Remember, be safe, we love you all, and stay foolish.